Hidden deep in the mountains of Japan is the legendary, unrecoverable, and abandoned Mark III Toyota Supra. I flew 15 hours, rented a car, and drove another 3 hours to get here, so let's see if we can find it. Now, while there's only a couple other videos of this car on the internet, after a lot of research, I was able to find the general area of where I believed it would be, using things like this old building and gravel road. Now, I was pretty sure that this was the hill that we had to get to the bottom of, and it might be kind of hard to tell on camera, but it is way too steep to try and climb down. So we continued walking until we found a better place to enter. Once we made it to the bottom, I knew we were in the right place because of this creek. And after following it for a while, we turned the corner and there it was. Legend has it that this car crashed over 30 years ago, and I was worried by the time I got here it would be fully buried by now, but it still looks exactly like it did in the older videos that I've seen online. The door on the driver's side is still open with part of the side being visible, but on the passenger side, the dirt and rocks have come up all the way to the window, basically making the car one with the earth at this point. The front end is completely buried and only small portions of one taillight and one wheel are still above ground. Luckily, the hood was open when I found it, and it's crazy to see that the hood struts still work after all this time. This allowed us to see the twin-turbo 1G GTE engine that, for the most part, is still fully intact, and honestly doesn't look that bad considering how long it's been sitting here. Inside the car, only a few pieces are missing, including the driver's seat, steering wheel, and shift knob, but those were also missing in the first video ever posted of this car over 8 years ago by Noriyaro, so I wonder if those were taken by the driver himself after the crash. You'll also notice the roll bar in the back, which might help explain how it got here in the first place. Luckily, the gauge cluster is not missing, and if we zoom in, you can see that it had around 84,000 kilometers when it crashed, or about 52,000 miles. And that's not that bad considering this car was on the road for probably 6 or 7 years at max. The first video I ever saw of this car was posted by Samit in 2019, and ever since then, I just wanted to try and find it myself. While I didn't come to Japan just to find this car, we did devote a whole day of our trip to coming out here to film this video, so I'm glad it worked out. But in terms of it being considered unrecoverable, all I can say is standing there in person, you can see why it can't be pulled out. It basically drove off of a cliff, and on the other side of the creek is just another cliff going back up the other way. The good news is the resting place for this car is very beautiful and actually quite peaceful. So while it might seem sad at first, there's definitely worse places it could have ended up. Years of planning in the making, so to be here in person is so cool. This is easily the most fun I've ever had filming a video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did.